Brazil securing top spot in Group C with that 3-0 win over Scotland in Miami. Vini Jr scoring twice before half-time. Matheus Cunha striking 2. And Brazil and Morocco are through to the knockout stages. But let's talk about Vinicius Jr once again on the score sheet. Now LA scoring in all 3 group games. Can I tell you the names of who've done that in the Brazil side?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Jairzinho.
Okay.
Romario.
He's good.
Ronaldo.
Very good.
And Rivaldo.
Yeah, those are all very good players. And when we have talked about this version of Brazil, we have said, where is Jairzinho? Where is Romario? Where is Rivaldo? Where is Ronaldo? And who is the player that is going to take that role for this team? Well, obviously, that has to be Vini Jr. Now, whatever doubts we had about Vini Jr coming into this World Cup were well-founded. They were not made up. It's because he hasn't been all that successful with Brazil. He hasn't been nearly as productive as you would imagine Vini Jr would have been up until this point. But certainly in this World Cup, his role with Brazil has taken more of an important, productive role. It's not just about the dribbling. It's not just about getting upset with fans or referees or opposition. It's actually productivity on the field, and you're seeing it from Vini Jr., and you're seeing it consistently and in moments in which they need it. Go back to the game against Morocco, in which they were struggling. It is an individual effort from Vini Jr. that gets the team back into the game. He has been excellent. He has been creative. He has been dynamic. He has been explosive. I don't know that he's been as good as Jairzinho, Rivaldo, Romario, Ronaldo, but he's on his way.
This is the best version of Vini to see for Brazil, isn't it?
It really is. And I think we had those questions, or those questions were born around Vinicius Jr. and his ability to be this for Brazil. Were born out of Brazil's World Cup qualifying campaign, where certainly they started slowly, but with the introduction of Ancelotti, they got a whole lot better. Vinicius Jr. got a whole lot better, but still we wanted to see these kinds of performances, these kinds of numbers from Vinicius Jr. on this kind of stage. I'm still not convinced that this is the Brazil of yesteryear, but with Vinicius Jr. in this kind of form, at least they are looking more up for the fight than I certainly thought 18 months ago.
Yeah. Vinny, Brazil, how do you think Brazil are going to fare with what you've seen so far, Don?
I think under Ancelotti, I think he's the key for Vinny. I think he gets him playing. I think he frees him up. I think he looks like a different player. He doesn't carry even though it's a big burden when you obviously pull that yellow jersey on. But I'm quite nostalgic when you think about the Brazilian sides over the decades. You think of like Adair and you think of Jairzinho and Falcao and Socrates and the great players that played back in the day. I think the best version of Vinny would be in the conversation to start in them sides. You know, you think of Ronaldo, you know, Ronaldinho, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Some very iconic players. But when he plays with a smile on his face and when he plays with the right attitude and the right commitment, the talent is there.
Speaking of iconic players for Brazil, we got to see Neymar. His long-awaited return on the 76th minute. He came in as a substitute, Ale. How did he do?
As you would expect, a guy who hasn't been playing for Brazil for as many years as he has, he went to get touches on the ball. He wanted to find rhythm. He was excited and I think overcome by emotions by the fact that he was back in the national team. I don't think he believed that this was possible. I didn't think this was possible. And frankly, 10 days ago, I didn't think this was possible given the fact that he was nursing a calf injury. But here he is. The whole stadium, once they figured out that Brazil was going to go on to win this game, the one thing that they wanted to see was Neymar get on the field. It's the thing that has dominated news in Brazil leading up to the World Cup and now in the World Cup. Outside of whether the team is winning or losing is when is Neymar going to play? Well, Neymar has played and came on the field, got his touches on the ball. I don't know how much of a difference maker he's going to be for Brazil in the latter stages of this competition, but at the very least, Ancelotti got him some minutes and maybe built some confidence that perhaps could be useful in the knockout stage.
You've got to give the fans what they want, but is it the best thing for Brazil right now, Shaka?
I'm not sure. I'm still not sure that Neymar is a player to lead or change games, impact games for Brazil going forward. This is my opinion, looking from the outside, no more than an opportunity to give an iconic player his last appearance at a World Cup. I don't expect to see Neymar in a Brazil shirt, certainly not on this stage. So outside of that, even though the understanding between Ancelotti and Neymar was that he'd play as a substitute, primarily when needed, even then, if you're down, I'm not sure Neymar is the man that comes on to change things that significantly. So I'm a little bit on the fence with this one.
And when it comes to the papers, they are doing all of the same. I'd pretty much say that's mission complete. And I do not speak Portuguese, but I think that's what it could be. But of course, all the front pages, Neymar, Vini Jr. Let's talk some more Brazil, shall we, with Ale over at the Sandbox.
Thank you, Kay. I wanted to take a look at Brazil's attack with the absence of Rafinha and what the role of Vini Jr. would be in that attack. And so, as we see how Brazil set up in this game against Scotland, Ryan was the choice for Carlo Ancelotti. And while we think that Ryan may be a winger, he's actually more of a guy that likes to combine these sort of central positions. And at times you would see Ryan, when they have a defensive posture, that this team would actually become an old school, dare I say, 4-4-2 as Mateus Cunha starts drifting into this sort of position. In fact, as Mateus Cunha starts drifting and he kind of works the underneath spaces, Vini Jr. becomes the highest attacking player. They become a 4-4-1-1. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, Vini Jr., usually with Real Madrid, we see him in wide areas on the left-hand side. In this case, he's working the central spaces. Inside channel, central spaces. Now, people, stay with me. Inside channel, central spaces. That's how Vini Jr. actually scores his first goal. While it was terrible from Scotland, what a terrible mistake it was. Think about who was the highest player in the attack for Brazil and who was central. It was Vini Jr., inside channel, central spaces. Second goal, the same thing. He ends up at the back post, but started in a central position and ends up heading the ball in this sort of position at the back post. But something happened. I don't know if you guys heard. Something happened. Neymar came on the field. Who? Neymar came on the field. And that changed the role for Vini Jr. Because while Neymar is also drifting, yeah, he's occupying the central space. He'll go everywhere. He'll come here, he'll go there. And I'm not exaggerating, he just likes to drift, which would suggest that Vini would again take that central position, inside channel. Inside channel, central position. What did Neymar do instead? He went back to what he does with Real Madrid. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but it's the same thing that he does when he's playing alongside Kylian Mbappe. Vini Jr. threw himself out here on the line. He had scored 2 goals in this sort of position. And because Neymar was on the field, Vini Jr. threw himself out here. What I'm getting to is the fact that Vini Jr. changes his approach according to who's on the field. And in particular, if it is Neymar, there is reverence, there is respect, there is appreciation for Neymar. And he's saying, you do you. If you need my help, I'll be out here. But if Brazil are going to be successful, they need Vini Jr. You know it. Central spaces, inside channel.
Nice stuff. Okay, so here is Neymar in what was his first game for Brazil since October of 2023. 3 chances created in 14 minutes. And in terms of fouls suffered and cards drawn since his debut in 2014, he is the player that stands out above the others. But let's hear from the man himself speaking after the game.
Quando eu entrei, na verdade, eu não pensei em nada. Eu só agradeci mesmo ali, eu só agradeci pelo momento, foi um momento de gratidão mesmo, porque nesses anos, desde quando eu me lesionei aqui na seleção, meu objetivo era jogar a Copa do Mundo, meu objetivo era voltar para a seleção, era defender essa camisa, porque eu amo estar aqui, eu amo vestir a camisa da seleção brasileira. E então só foi de agradecimento. Fiquei muito feliz, muito contente, emocionado com tudo que vem acontecendo. E é isso, acho que é melhorar cada vez mais para ajudar a minha equipe de alguma forma.
Oh, nice stuff. What did you think of Ale's little sandbox? I know you want to get on
very
there
good.
yourself.
No, I love the analysis. Better than Stu yesterday.
Did you get the mantra?
Huh?
Did you get the mantra that you kept
Yeah.
repeating to us?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get it.
inside channel, central position.
That's why you want him.
Well, and the reason I bring that up is because it dawned on me as I'm watching the game is, why am I seeing Vini Jr. going out to the left-hand side when he had been so successful in that inside channel in those central position? And the only thing that came to mind is when he recognizes that there is an alpha on the field, in this case Neymar, he retreats, he withdraws, he goes to a place in which he's most comfortable and says, well, you do you over there, I'll be here if you need me. And it's the same thing that we see, as I mentioned, with Real Madrid. When Gonzalo Garcia plays as a center forward for Real Madrid because Kylian Mbappe may be injured or unavailable, you see Vini Jr. take that central position. But when Mbappe comes back, you see then Vini Jr. get out to the left-hand side. And what I say with Real Madrid, and I'll say with Brazil, if they're going to be successful, they need him to be more central, not just parked out on the left-hand side. If they're going to get the best of Vini Jr. in terms of productivity, scoring goals, that's where he's scoring goals from. He has to be more central, not necessarily as a center forward, but in the inside channel and not just drifting out wide.